The multi-track view in Adobe Audition allows you to record or import audio onto tracks, which allows for a wider amount of possibilities when editing. Multi-track view supports non-destructive editing methods, meaning that changes can be undone at a later point, even after you've saved your work and reopened the application. To start a new project in Multitrack view, press the Multitrack button in the top left corner of Adobe Audition. In this little window, we have a few options to select. Firstly, I'll need to name my file. I can choose where I want my files for this project to be saved by pressing the Browse button and navigating to the destination. It's best to create a new folder within this destination to keep everything tidy, as all of your recorded tracks will be placed in here. Next, we can choose between some templates that are built into Audition. We don't need a template for this session, however, so I'm going to leave this as none. Then I can choose the sample rate for my file. For this, I'm going to select 44.1 kHz. If you're working in Adobe Audition for a university project, you should check with your lecturer which options you should be using. We'll leave our bit depth at 32-bit for now. And now we can choose our channels. I'm going to select mono for this tutorial, as many of our microphones in the Multimedia Center are mono microphones. Now click OK. At the moment, I have the classic workspace enabled, so the layout of the tool panels is very similar to the layout in the second video of this series on preparing to record in the waveform view. The main difference is that rather than having one waveform within this editor panel, we actually have several tracks which we can record to individually. Each track has a volume slider here, as well as options to mute the track, which is represented as an M, solo the track, so to play it on its own and mute all the other tracks, which is an S, and a button to arm the track, which is represented by an R, and we'll talk about this shortly. You can also see a levels indicator for each track as well. We can rename each track quite easily by double-clicking the track name and typing a new name. You can also see the input device for each track in this drop-down menu. I'll change this to the built-in microphone in my MacBook on this occasion. Before we start recording, we need to arm the track that we intend to record to. I'm going to press the R button for track 1 to record to there. Then I'll press the red record button. This is a test recording for an Adobe Audition tutorial. Once you've finished recording, make sure that you press the stop button. You can see there's a waveform here in track 1 for my recording. I could now start a different recording on a different track if I wanted to, simply by deselecting the R in track 1 and selecting the R in track 2 to arm that track instead, and then pressing the record button again. I can play back my recording by dragging the blue play head to the start and pressing play or the spacebar. This is a test recording for an Adobe Audition tutorial. Now, there are a few methods of controlling volume of your clips in Adobe Audition's multi-track view. To demonstrate this, I'll quickly duplicate this recorded clip by pressing Command or Control and C, and then pasting with Command or Control and V. So now I've got two clips within the same track. The first option that we'll look at allows us to change the volume of each clip independently. If I use the controls in the zoom panel to zoom in, I can see this gold line that runs throughout the clip. I can click and hold the gold line and drag downwards to reduce the volume of my clip. You should be able to see the volume falling in decibels at this point. And the reverse is also true, so if I drag the line upwards, it will increase the volume of the clip. Just to note here, the volume of the other clip within this track hasn't changed at all during this process. If I want to change the volume of all the clips in this track, I can navigate to the volume slider for the track and drag it left to decrease the volume, or right to increase the volume. There are a few more ways to affect the volume in Audition, but for this video, we'll stick to those two. Next, we'll look at saving our project so that we can return to it later. So, to save this project, we can go to File, Save As. And in this window, we now have opportunity to give our file a name. Here you can choose a new location. However, this should already be the same location that you selected earlier when we started the project. For the format, we'll be keeping this as an Audition session file, meaning that we can open it up in Audition later and continue working. And now that's done, press OK.